So we talked about in our last video the dry incubation that we were doing, and we hatched them out, we brought them out. We still had a couple left that hadn't hatched yet, and the first one actually that started to hatch was really the last one left to hatch, which was kind of weird. So we kind of thought something might be wrong, but we weren't 100% sure. So we gave it another 24 hours just to check, because they say, you know, after incubation period is over, you can still give them 2 days in there. So we did. We gave him an extra 24 hours, and he was kicking his little leg out of the shell, but nothing else was happening. So we ended up assisting in the hatch, and we really don't like to do that. You're not supposed to do it. We haven't had a lot of success with it in the past when we've attempted it, but those two little fellas there behind the black Polish, you can see there, the one is laying down and the other one, his fur, or his feathers, excuse me, are kind of matty. Those are the two that we helped out, and so far so good. They've been in here for about 10 hours, and they are both alive and kicking, so we're pretty happy about that. The one laying down, he just kind of picked his head up. He's kind of napping on and off a lot more frequently than the others, so I'm not really sure if he's going to make it, but I'm not sure what happened. It looked to me like the shells just were really thick, and I'm not sure if it was like too much calcium or if it had something to do with the dry incubation. I don't think that it did, but the shells were just really, really hard and thick. Like they were almost, pretty hard to break. You couldn't just crack them on the counter, like a normal egg. I mean, you really had to get into them. So they were just kind of stuck in there and we're having a really hard time getting out. So I'm not sure what happened, but we're going to keep a close watch on them and see how they do. When I was helping them get out of the shell, I had to put them in some some lukewarm water just to kind of get the membrane off of them. And I felt so bad because their feathers were just kind of matted together and they were just kind of a mess. And I know it had to have been uncomfortable for them, but if the only way for them to survive or to even get out was for me to help. So I kind of had to do what I had to do. If you guys have any suggestions, or if you've had any experience with that, or you've run into a similar situation with your hatchings, definitely comment below. Let me know what you did. I was kind of leery about using a little bit of Dawn soap on the feathers to try to loosen it up, but so I just went with lukewarm water. I wasn't really sure about that, but it seemed to work. They just look a little bit matted, so I don't know. I guess we'll wait and see what happens with the next incubation and go from there. But so far, everybody's looking pretty good, so we'll see. And real quick, look how big these guys are. Look. And you see them side by side here in the new setup. Tiny chicks, big chicks. These guys were the last hatch that we did on our last video. And you see the Turkins there. They're just really coming into their feathers. They're not the most attractive things right now, but they're definitely cute. And we're super anxious to get them outside and get these other little guys moved over. But the new setup, let me try to stand back here, but the new setup seems to, you can see it kind of in full action there. We really, really like it. And I kind of like this other heat light a lot better than the red glow. I think that, I don't know, maybe you guys can let me know if the color makes any difference. I don't think that it does, but I'll tell you, I do like the brighter one. We got that bulb from Tractor Supply, and I like the brightness of it. I like being able to look in there and see what everybody's doing without any issue. The red one, though, I don't know. It's just kind of dim. I don't know if it's more relaxing for them, but I kind of like the bright light better. But yeah, but there they are side by side, and I like the new setup. So far, so good.